Right then, this is not one of my normal videos. This is just one of the ones I do to answer a subscriber question, right? Perry, you asked me about cleaning chucks, and this is the one I was saying. It is not in a good condition. It's absolutely manky. It needs to be cleaned out, right? Now, this is my chuck box. Anything I need to do with chucks is in this box, right? I'm going to need the little pliers things, and I need one of them, right? There's old chucks. Let me see what's in there. There's a lot of jaws. There's old chucks in there. Oh, there's a lot of stuff in there, but it's all to do with chucks is in this box. Right, so I don't need that anymore at the moment. Right then, first thing I do, Perry, is I pull the jaws, right? Now, as I said, I've been up to my eyes with stuff, which is why this chuck actually got this bad. Right. And it's my own fault. It shouldn't have got this bad. I just haven't had the time to clean it. I haven't serviced the lathe in about 3 weeks because I haven't had the time. The floor is covered in about 1 inch of shavings all over the floor, and there's about 1 foot of it underneath the lathe. Right, jaws off, flip it over. There's a snap ring here, right? This is a Supernova 2, but they're an awful lot of them the same way. Now, these snap rings can be a pain in the butt to get off. Right, so one of these little sear clip pliers is a great thing. Sometimes you gotta kind of open it and get in under it with a flat blade screwdriver just to get the thing off. Especially when they're dirty. When they're dirty, they're a real pain to get off. Right. Now, is this gonna pop out? Right. This plastic ring sometimes doesn't pop out. The easiest way I've found to do it is to actually use the sear clip pliers again. Shove them in there, pull them out, right, and see if you can get an edge to lift. And as I said, when they're dirty, chucks can be a pain to take apart. Get under there with something. All I'm looking for is an edge to get under here. So they can be an absolute pain when they're dirty like this, because stuff gets in and they get jammed. Right, there we're off, right? Now you can see there, this is what was catching it. See all this stuff? Just rubbing off my fingers, right? In there isn't too bad, but around the ring here is, which is another thing that was making it tight. So, same as with the lathe, a scrubby sponge and some mets or denatured alcohol for those in the States, right? Onto the scrubby sponge and just clean everything with the denatured alcohol. Especially, you see those little grooves there in there, because that's what makes this thing sticky to come out. Because what actually sits in there is, see here, there and there, is your, the word escapes me now, but those things, right? Give it a wipe down. Now, something that you said, Perry, when you asked the question, was that like if I read it right anyway, that you just spray them with WD-40. Never, ever, ever do that, right? WD-40 is like glue for sawdust, right? It's like absolute glue for them, right? Right, drop the ring out, see around the ring where it's all dirty as well, right? The back of your jaw carriers, right, are dirty as well, right? Now, the only thing to remember is, where have I cut myself this time? Right, the only thing you need to remember is where your jaw carriers came from, right? Because on some chucks they're marked and on others they're not, right? So slide the jaw carriers out, right? Keep them in position, right? And then, right, I know that the Nova is pointing there, right? Clean out all in there as well. In there is where it is going to make your jaws hard to move in and out, right? Right, so all the gunk is now gone from in here and there. And don't forget in around there, right? Now you might have a hard time getting a scrubby sponge in there, but you can certainly get some kitchen towel in there. Just give it a clean, a wipe around, get everything that's in there out of it. Just a little bit in there with a flip out too, or whatever. But be careful when you're doing this, you do not want to scratch the inside of this. All you're doing is getting the junk out of it, right? And then airline. And just blow everything out of it. Oh, where did I cut myself? Right. Now, same with your jaw carriers. Give them a clean out. What's good for doing the jaw carriers, and I don't have one out here, is actually a nail brush. It makes it a lot quicker to do. Now, I don't actually know if it makes a difference what way you put the jaw carriers back once they go 1, 2, 3, 4. But just this is the way I've always done it. I've always kind of tried to make sure that everything goes back the same way I took it out. Right, and then your warm gear, give that a clean out as well. Right, and so the warm gear is now nice and clean. Right, slip your jaw carriers back in where they came from. Right, and what I like to do is line them up with the outside. Flip it over and drop your warm gear back in. Give it a spin until it locks down. Right. Checking that it's contacting the jaws. You might have to play around with it a little bit. You see where that one's after coming in, that one's way out. That's no good. Right. This is the most tedious part of doing this, is getting the jaws lined up again once you pull that warm gear out. A little spin and it will drop in. Okay. And I cannot remember what they're called. isn't in on this side. So there's something up on this side here, because it hasn't dropped down. I said this is the most tedious part of doing this, is getting this worm gear back in. One in. Nope. No good. Sometimes it'll just drop straight in for you, but sometimes it does this, where it just will not sit in properly. And sometimes it just does that. As I said, sometimes it can take a little bit of fiddling to do it. That one's way out. See the way that one's gone way in there? That one needs to be one back out. So, pull that out. Drop the worm gear, pull that one back a bit. Drop them in. See, they're all around about the same place, which means it's in there right. Right, now, this is the part. Do not put grease or WD-40 or anything else inside there. It's a grease magnet, or it's a magnet for shavings. What you need to use is, it's in a press here behind me. Wherever it's gone. There it is. Oh, you wouldn't know I wasn't organised for this video, would you? Right, a PTFE spray, right, and it's the only thing, because PTFE spray will not hold dust, right? Line this up, put it back in, put your clip back on, which can be a pain in the butt. This is like the worm gear. Sometimes these just pop on and off. Sometimes they're just a pain in the butt to do. Come on, down you go. Come on. Nope. It's actually doing things like this when you're servicing a chuck is actually what can put people off doing it, because doing this is such a pain in the rear end. Between that worm gear, which just takes a little bit of fiddling, and this thing, which I absolutely hate doing this bit. Sometimes a bit of leverage with a screwdriver is the only way you're gonna get it. Oh, go down with you. There we go, got it. Right, and that's the whole thing back on. Now what I would normally do is stick this as it is onto the lathe, spin it up, just give it a clean with some of the Yorkshire Grit Microfine, right? Which will bring it back to super shiny, and then put the jaws back on. Right, so the things you gotta watch for is do not use anything that's going to hold dust. Like WD-40, grease, anything like that. Use a PTFE spray, right? And try and put everything back in the exact same position you took it out of. I said, I honestly don't know if that one really matters, but it's just the way I've always done it, right? And that's basically your chuck service. It's not difficult to do. There's just certain parts of it that are a pain in the butt to do, right? So I hope that's helped you out, Perry. Any more questions, just give me a shout. And as everybody knows, I don't mind doing an extra video like this for somebody if they have a question, right? So see you in the next one.